I got a mail that my electricity and gas bill will be going up by 56%. Like, I was trying to even get like another provider, like let me just jump ship, but it's even crazier out there. Hi guys, how are you all doing? Welcome back. We have another video. Yay. If you're watching one of my videos for the first time, my name is Atineke. Welcome to my channel. And if you're a returning subscriber or viewer, you're also welcome back. On this channel, basically I share tips and acts about lifestyle, career, motherhood, immigration tips, you know, just everyday tips and acts that I feel will be useful to everyone out there. So yeah, let's get on with it. So on today's video, I'll be sharing something that a couple of people have asked me, especially people that are planning to relocate abroad, because I know that's like the wave now. Like people are really migrating like to different countries, but today I'll be talking about, you know, the UK, because that's where I live. So people have been asking me what will it cost, you know, for one person to stay in the UK for like a month, or what will it cost for like 2 people, or what will it cost for like 3 people and above. The thing is, I've actually experienced like all of this in like different phases of my life, because when I came to the UK it was just me for a couple of months, I think for about 5 to 6 months. So I was living by myself, so I was able to like you know, manage on a particular amount of money. And then after a while my husband joined me, and then it was the 2 of us, so you know, we had our budget for the 2 of us. And then after a while we had our baby, and now it's the 3 of us. So yeah, today's video I'll be giving you guys like the cost of living in the UK for a single person, a cost of living for 2 people, you know, if you guys are a couple or, you know, friends living, I guess, yeah, just 2 people, and then the cost of living for a family of 3, because, you know, like I said, I've experienced all this parts, you know, all these phases in my life. So the first thing is housing. Now the thing with housing is this takes like a major part of your money, like a third or a quarter of your money, because it's just quite expensive. And in the UK you mostly pay per month. I know there are some places where you pay per week, you know, some agencies get per, but the common one is per month. So you pay per month, unlike like, you know, most African countries where you pay yearly. Here in the UK you pay every month, so when you're getting your pay, you're paying for rent or mortgage, whatever you're getting. So how much do you pay as a single person? The average amount is about 400 to 600 pounds for a single person, and that would probably be a studio or a shared apartment. And now when I was in the UK just by myself, I lived in an apartment that was shared. So I had my own toilet and bathroom in my room, and then we shared the kitchen, you know, 3-4 people shared the kitchen. Then I was paying 450 pounds. However, this is bills included and furnished. So most times when you're a single person, you would be able to get like bills included apartment and furnished all under that 400-600 pounds range. So that is really good, isn't it? So you're not worried about furnishing the apartment, you're not worried about bills. However, for double, most times you would find that the apartment is not furnished. However, like 20% to 30% of the time you can still find a furnished apartment, and these mostly range between 500 to 700 pounds. So it depends on where you want to get. You can decide to actually get an apartment that's like 1,000 pounds, you know, all this fancy schmancy apartment that is overlooking the ocean. Is up to you. But if you want to get something, you know, on the average level, you would probably get between 500 to 700 pounds. Now let's talk about a family of 3. For a family of 3, there is a very high chance you won't get something that is furnished, because you would need a 2-bedroom apartment and above. Most agencies will not let a family of 3 stay in a studio apartment. So most times they will even let you stay in a 1-bedroom apartment, so you probably need a 2-bedroom apartment. Once in a while you might be able to find like places where they let you stay in a 1-bedroom apartment, so you know, just try your luck. Now the range you're looking at for this is about 600 to 900 pounds. Now all these prices I have you know, quoted depends on where you're living. Now initially when I moved here, I was staying closer to London, so housing was more expensive, and now I stay in the Midlands and Nottingham, so it's a bit cheaper. So it really depends on where. I know when you even move up north, you know, the Yorkshire areas, you actually get like really good apartment, really good housing for your money. So it really depends on where you're staying. If you're staying in London, you know, you're paying through, you know that. I mean, you know, London guys know that. So really depends on where you're living. So just know that, okay, for a single person, that is your budget. For a double, you know, a couple, that is your budget. And for a family of 3 and above, that is your budget. So let's talk energy. That's electricity and gas. In the UK, you pay for electricity and gas. I know some places you actually pay for just electricity, because one of the apartments I stayed in, I pay for just electricity. Anywho's, but most places is electricity and gas, and most times it's always like the same provider. The average price you pay as a single person is 50 to 60 pounds if you're living in an apartment that is not bills included. You know, I told you when I was living by myself, my apartment was bills included. So try and get something that is bills included, saves you that money. However, if it's not, 50 to 60 pounds is your budget. If it's the two of you, it takes about 60 to 80 pounds for the two of you, you know, paying for bill. I remember then I was paying about 75 pounds. You know, we were paying 75 pounds for the two of us when it was the two of us. So try and get something, you know, you can go, there's like this site that you can use switch, there's compare the market, try and get the best bargain. So even like when you move to a new apartment, they already have like an energy provider, but you don't have to like stick with them. You can stay with them for a couple of months and see how the rate is. If you're not happy with it, use those sites I talked about, compare the market, and use switch, and just find a cheaper provider. So if you put in your postcode and your address, you'll be able to find like a cheaper provider, and you know, you can just jump ship. And for a family of 3, that's when it gets dicey. The thing is, you know, this energy bill thing and all, it's all calculated with like your energy consumption rate. So if you're trying to like reduce your consumption rates, then you get to pay lesser. But if you're using more, you pay more. Now, before we had our baby, my husband and I would just like wear our cardigan, and we were quite warm, so we didn't used to like put on the heating so much, so we didn't pay like so much. But now that we have a baby, we just work on all the eating really, because I don't want my child to have like cold or pneumonia, because I'm trying to save money. So we just leave all the eating on as much as possible, and now we pay more. Currently we pay about £100 per month. So for a family of 3, budget about 80 to 120 pounds depending on your usage. So what we do is, in rooms where we don't use, because we have a 3-bedroom house now, so rooms where we don't need the heating, we just switch it off. So you can save money that way. You know, switch off the heating where you don't need it, and you just put it on where you need it. Because trust me, it is per consumption, so you don't want to like work on all the heating, you'll be paying so much. So a single person, you have the price. For 2 people, and for a family of 3, you have the price. So that is it for electricity and gas. Now let's move on to water. Water? I would always, anytime I try to call water, I always try to call it water, but it just doesn't work. Let's move on to water. So for water is quite affordable. When I was a single occupant in a single apartment, I wasn't paying for water bill because it was bills included. However, if you're living by yourself, I know you can pay between 15 to 20 pounds, just that, for water per month. This includes what you're using and your wastage. So most times it comes together as one. You pay for, you know, the water you're using and the water being drained away, you know, disposal of that, you pay for that, but it comes as a single bill. So you pay about 15 to 20 pounds as a single person. For 2 people, you pay between 20 to 40 pounds. It's not even so like 20 to 30 pounds, because then I was paying 30 pounds and my husband and I were paying 30 pounds for the 2 of us. Now, as a family of 3, you know, you have your child, you're using more water, you know, boiling water for your child, bathing and all that. So you use more, you use about 30 to 50 pounds just to make that budget. Currently, as a family of 3, we pay so we used to pay 35 pounds, but now we pay 40 pounds. All this is based on your consumption. So they always advise you to not put on the water while you're brushing your teeth, just use it when you need it, you know. All this kind of, yeah. So the little acts to save money, you can do that. Your electricity and gas, water, it all depends on how much you consume. So they do like a monthly billing or 6 monthly billing. It depends on your company and what you choose, and then you pay like a direct debit sort of. So sometimes you're in debit, sometimes you're in credit, and when they send your bill at the end of like 6 months, you see if you need to pay more or you need to pay less. So that's pretty much how it works. So yeah, that's that for water. So water is still quite affordable when you compare it to rent and electricity and gas. So let's move on to the next thing. Another thing is council tax. Now this is this is well, I would say a big thing, because it's not as expensive as rent, but it's like a major thing because it's still money, you know. So what I noticed was when I was staying by myself, you know, and it was bills included, I still had to pay council tax. Yeah, it's just like that. So council tax is calculated in like different bands, band A, B, C, D. So it depends on the occupants of the house and how big your house is. So because council tax covers like your waste and this and that, so it has so many things under, for ambulance, for police and all that. They use all that, the council tax for that. So council tax, so for council tax you pay depending on like the banding. So it could be band A, band B, C, D. I think it goes up to G. It depends on the number of occupants in a house and how big your house is, what type of apartment you have also. So when I was by myself, I had to pay council tax. Even though my house was bills included, council tax was separate. So most time you would have to pay council tax. Then I was paying about £90 council tax per month. So what they do is it's an annual fee. It's sometimes about 1,000, 1,001, depending on your banding, like I said, and then they divide it by 10. Most times they divide it by 10. If you want them to divide it by 12, you can give them a call, tell them you'd rather pay it, in a 12 months period, which will be a bit lesser. So then I was paying it, I think if it was over 12 months too, I was paying over 12 months, so I was paying about £90. So the rough estimate you pay is about £90 to £100 as a single person. As two people, it's not so there's not much difference. So you pay about £100 to about £120 for two people. Now it also depends on where you are. This is calculated, like the prices differ, across borough. So you pay a different amount in London, you pay a different amount in Nottingham. So it's just really different. So, but then it's up to you. You can decide to just pay, the annual rate and just give them the 1,000 something pounds and say, yeah, I'll see you guys later. So it depends on you, but most people just pay monthly. And then as a family of 3, we pay a whole lot of it. Now we pay about £155 per month. It's just like, because it's about 1,800 annually, So like I said, it depends on the number of people, how big your house is. They just calculated the banding. I don't know how they calculate the banding, but yeah, council tax is a thing that you have to pay. So it is what it is. Now let's move on to something else. Another thing is transportation. Now before I got a car, when I used to stay by myself, I used to buy like this monthly ticket thing, and it used to be about £60 per month then. So if you buy a daily ticket, then it used to be about £3 something per daily ticket. But if you buy it as a monthly ticket, you'd pay £60. Now that was like 3-4 years ago, and it was when I was living in Luton. So it depends on where you're living. I know when you live in London, you need to buy like this Oyster card thing, and then you can load some money on it, and then there's like a daily cap, and the Oyster card is about just £5, and you just put some money on it, and then when you use like the tube system or the red buses and all that, you can just tap, and there's like a daily cap. So if you spend up to a certain amount, you're traveling like to and fro like throughout that day, after a particular cap, you don't pay more. You can still travel, but you don't pay more. But that's for like people that live in London. If you're living elsewhere, just find out the bus provider for where you're going to and they just get like a monthly ticket. It's always better to get a monthly ticket. So that's for buses. If you're going to be going to and fro by train, it's a different ball game. Now for train, what I would always advise is get a rail card. If you get a rail card, it is cheaper. It's cheaper for you. Like sometimes if you have to pay like £15 for like a day train ride, if you have a rail card, you probably pay like £9 or £8. So get a rail card. However, if you know exactly, if you have like a defined place where you'll be going to and fro, let's say you have to take a 30-minute train ride to work and back, I would advise you to get a flexi ticket. Now what the flexi ticket is about is this. Flexi ticket gives you about 8 tickets in one. So you pay a particular amount, let's say like £90, £100 for your flexi ticket, and then when you have that 8 tickets in it, you can only activate it when you feel like using it. So if you're not going to work every day, you don't have to activate it every day. So if you need it, you activate it, and it lasts for throughout that day, and that's gone. So that's 8 tickets, and that 8 ticket lasts for about 28 days, 1 month. And if you don't finish it, you can get a refund. However, if you have a fixed day that you go to work, let's say like 4 times a week, 5 times a week, then get a weekly ticket. So it just really depends on what you're getting. So that I can't put like a specific amount on, because it depends on where you're going to, from where to where. But the average amount you spend on the bus will be about £60 to £100 a month. the average amount you spend on tickets for train will be between 100 to 200 pounds a month. I know it's that expensive. It depends on where you're going to and where you're coming from. Now let's talk about owning a car. If you have a car, you'd pay for road tax, you buy your fuel, and you also pay for car insurance. Those three things you need for your car in the UK. Now for road tax, the average amount you pay is about 155 to 170 pounds. It depends on your car. It depends on so many things, but that's just the average amount you pay annually. Now, some people will choose to pay off, one off, but if you can't afford to pay one off, you can pay it every month. So most times it would amount to about 15 to 20 pounds per month for your road tax. Aside that, you need fuel. Now it depends on where you're driving to. You can buy fuel. Like for me, like I buy like a 50 pounds fuel for a month, and it lasts me because I go to work like 4 times a week. And so it lasts me for like my to and fro and the occasional shopping. So like the 50 pounds fuel lasts me for a month. So it depends on where you're going to, but just know like an average of like 50 to maybe 80 pounds per month fuel will be good for you. So that's for fuel. And now the next thing is car insurance, and that is another major part. So for car insurance, it depends on your car, it depends on your driving history, it depends on the type of license you have. If you're coming from, out of the UK and you're coming with an international license, you pay more for car insurance. If you're using a provisional license, you pay more for car insurance. If you're a new driver, you pay more for car insurance. So all these factors are considered when you're calculating your car insurance. But you just, get on one of those compare sites. I can't remember one of those compare sites now, but if you just compare the market or something, and then you're able to like put in the car, plate number, and just find the car insurance that works for you. So it depends on the provider, the excess you're paying, so many factors. But the average price you'd pay for car insurance is about 700 to 1,500 pounds. I know. So you can decide to pay this one off, or also decide to pay it every month. So most times all these prices are like priced annually, but most times you're allowed to pay it every month if you want to. That's just that for transportation. All these are quite relative. It depends on where you're living, the type of transportation you're using, all this. Another major expense is food. Yeah, because I'm sure everyone's waiting like, when are you going to talk about food? So for food, for a single person, when I was staying by myself, my budget for food was about 150 pounds per month. Some months I don't finish that, some months I do. So what I do is, because I'm African and I like my African food, I usually budget 50 pounds for my African market, where I can get the beans, my yam, my pepper soup pie, shaki and all those things, 50 pounds per month. I usually just do that shopping once a month, and I just stock those things in my fridge, in my freezer. And then for the regular grocery shopping, going to Tesco's or Asda, wherever you want to shop, I usually budget about 100 pounds per month then. So I'll do like a one-off shopping of like 30-40 pounds, and then every 1 or 2 weeks I do like a 20 pound shopping and all. But I used to have a 150 pounds budget, and it used to be like well and enough. Now when it became the two of us, we had a budget of 200 pounds. Now with a budget of 200 pounds, the two of you will be well and okay. You will eat to your fill and have extra. Some months we don't even like spend up to 200 pounds, but it's just that I like food, so I used to like to have enough to eat. So if you want to, just have a generous budget, well, not robust, but at least a decent budget, just budget about 200 pounds for the two of you. Now for a family of 3, if you have a child, depends on how old your child is, what kind of food your child eats and all, but a budget of 250 to 300 pounds will be well enough for you guys. For if you have a baby, for instance, like stock up on frozen foods and this and that, and you guys will be good. So yeah, a budget of 250 to 300 pounds will be good enough for 3 of you. Now all this budget I have based it on what I used to spend. Now I don't know if I'm a glutton or what, but I know there are some people that actually, like, for a single person they can live well on like 100 pounds, and like 2 people can live well on like 100 or 150. Do you know what? I'm just saying this based on what I use, because I like food. So yeah, if you're a foodie like me, this food budget will be useful to you. But the truth is, I'm just giving you guys like a rough idea of this thing, so that I mean, you can just do like a rough, it's a rough estimate really. You can do a rough calculation and have an idea what you'll be spending when you come here, or when you're here and you're trying to move on to like the next phase of life, you know. So that's just that. Another expense you'd have to, you know, pay here is broadband. So it's optional, but it's quite necessary. So it really depends on you. So when you have your own apartment, if you have a bills included apartment, sometimes, you know, for a single person, sometimes you'd have your broadband included. If it's not included, you can get like a cheap one. When it was just my husband and I, we were able to get I think Sky or Talk, I can't remember the exact one, for about £15 per month. So you can get about £15 per month, and they give you like sometimes it's unlimited, sometimes like 60 gig cap, but most times you can't finish it. And this would help to, you know, fuel your TV, and you can use your laptop and your phone when you're in your house. Now, when you move to like a bigger space and you need more, like if you want the TV package and all that, most times you'd have to pay between 30 to 40 pounds for this. And if you want like a faster broadband, you want, you know, more, it just really depends. But just know that generally for broadband, the price ranges from about 15 to 60 pounds. It just depends on what end of the scale you're trying to stay on. You know, what do you want, what package do you want? Broadband will just range between that price. Another expense is paying for your phone bill. Now, it depends on your provider, but the average amount you spend for phone bill is about 10 to 20 pounds, and this would cover a particular amount of data. So they'll give you about 10 to 15 gig, and then you can make like unlimited calls and unlimited text. So it depends on the package you choose. Like for I use 3, and if you go on their page, you can see like a particular gig for a particular amount, and unlimited text, or a particular number of limit, you know, a particular limit of text and hours you get for calls. So it just depends on what you choose really, but just have a budget of about 15 to 60 pounds. So just stay on whatever range on the budget that you want. Now, aside all these, there are other little miscellaneous expenses which are quite optional, like, you know, getting Netflix. You pay for about like 10-15 pounds for Netflix in a month, and Spotify, you know, for music, you pay about like 10-15 pounds per month for that. But these things are optional. If you don't want Netflix and you don't want Spotify, you can well live without them. So those are like the other extra expenses you'll most likely spend here in the UK. And you know what, generally I just budget you know, like 50-100 pounds extra. I would advise you to budget 50-100 pounds extra for, you know, all these miscellaneous expenses. Now, another thing to mention is childcare. Now, this will not be useful to like a single person or a family, or like, you know, 2 people, but for a family of 3, you know, you have a child, it depends on how old your child is. Now in the UK, once your child is above, I think 4 or 5 years old, education is free. Now once your child is 3 years old, at a certain month, you'd be able to get 30 hours free if your child goes to like the nursery, you know, or childminder. The government gives you 30 hours free every week. So that reduces you. However, when your child is below 0 to 3 years, if you're taking your child to nursery, it is quite expensive. So have a budget of, so the general price you pay is about £40 to about £55 per day for nursery or childminder. So this range is like, if you go to a childminder, they can charge you £4 per hour. You know, your child is staying like a particular number of hours, you calculate that. But the general price, you know, for a full day, 10-hour day, is about 40 to 55, 60 pounds per day. Now, if your child goes to nursery like 20 days a month, you know you're paying through your nose. However, I know some people just try to work around their schedule, like the husband is at home to take care of the child while the wife works, and then when the wife is back, the husband goes to work. So if you guys don't want to spend much on, childcare, you can work around your schedule and just manage that, and you don't have to spend much on childcare. But if you need to, that's just like the budget of what you spend per day, either for nursery or childminder, or, you know, the other options out there. Other like little expenses that I didn't bother to mention, like if you decide to have like an insurance on your house, because most houses would actually have an insurance. You can get insurance for like 15 to 20 pounds per month, and you know, just little expenses like that. I usually have like a miscellaneous. So basically that's everything. I hope this has helped you guys. I don't know, I just thought it would be, because a couple of people have asked me this, and I just thought this would be a video that would be beneficial to some people, if not all. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Once you're done watching this video, click that subscribe button, okay? And don't forget to share this video to people that would find it useful. Alright, so I'll see you guys in another video. Thank you. Bye bye.